I'm going to go ahead and call the regular meeting of the Granbury City Council to order. It's 6 p.m. on Tuesday, November the 11th, 2023. We are in Granbury City Hall at 116 West Bridge Street, Granbury, Texas 76048. Reverend McMahon, I was looking, I didn't see you. Thank you. Thank you for coming. If you would lead us in our invocation, I'd appreciate it.
I've lost a lot of weight in the last year. I can understand. Pray with me, please. Oh, Father, thank you for the way you love us. Thank you for the way you take care of us. You provide for us. You protect us. Oh, Lord God, we are so fortunate to be here now, to be in a community, in a city that loves the Lord. I thank you for the privilege of coming tonight to be able to approach you, asking that as they go through the business tonight, that the leadership would consider you. They would remember that they are in their positions because of the people who followed your unction and voted. So we thank you for that, Father. We thank you for the success of this evening. We thank you for the future that is ours because of Jesus. But most of all, we just thank you for loving us the way you do. And it is in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
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 Thank you. Now, if you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the American and Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one nation, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you all. Now, if you will join with me, I'm going to ask that Councilman Corrigan come out to the front, and we're going to present a certificate of election and administer the oath of office to duly elected Greg Corrigan, council member place 6. So we have you here for another 3 years. Very good. All right.
Raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Greg Corrigan,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of City Council Person, Place 6
of City Council Person, Place 6
of the State of Texas,
of the State of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
and the laws of the United States
and the laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state.
so help me God.
So help me God. Thank you, sir. So they can hear us in us.
Here is the certificate. Now, you've got a couple of these. So now I can cover the wall with these. So it's my pleasure to welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
Or not. You have a 3-minute time limit. I've read the rules. I'll start the timer now.
Start what now?
No, I mean, I don't know that I have a lot to say except for just thank you. You don't get here without people behind you and pulling for you and believing in what you're doing. So I want to especially say thank you to the citizens and also to my family. As anyone that's ever run for office knows, it's really hard on your family. There's a lot of time you spend away from home, even more so than normal. So I want to thank them. They couldn't be here tonight, so thank you all for coming. I appreciate it.
Okay. Now we'll go to 4.2, City Council, City Manager issue encouraging statements to recognize city staff. It's been a good week, Mr. Kaufman.
Sure has. I'd like to ask Ms. Ava Gregory to come over to the lectern and give her analysis for me. I've asked her to come tonight to talk about the utility billing and the meter reading and all that's gone on during the cyber event. And what better person to explain some success and where we're at and how we've been recovering and what we've been going through than Ava and her team. So I'll let you take off, Ava. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you, City Manager Chris Kaufman, City Council. I would like to first of all invite my team out so everybody gets to see them, the utility billing team and the meter reading team. And I want to recognize them as I speak. So if you all want to join me here, please, because I really want to put them in the forefront. The outage late July have caused a huge impact on our customers. Yeah, it's right there. Yeah, it's right there. Why not? The outage in late July have really impacted our customers, and this team right here, and I want to introduce everyone. Bailey Blakely, our new utility billing manager. She's been with us for how long now? Since September. Leslie Green has been with us several years now. Becky Beach Boyd, let me correct that. She's new to utility billing as well, but she's been in the forefront. Jared Butler is our meter reading foreman, and I want to speak about him too. And Paul, who is overseeing meter reading department, and of course Pablo Navedo, our meter reading technician. All of them have been in the forefront together and helping our customers since the outage, because the outage caused a huge utility billing delay. We haven't been able to send out bills for 2 months, and we had to have our team speak to their customers and explain to them why they are not getting their bills, explain to them why they have to make estimated payments all this time while we aren't able to generate a bill for them. And once we started generating bills, they came one after the other with due dates, one after the other, and it has created a lot of confusion. And our team is the one who have spoke to the customers over and over again. Our phones haven't stopped ringing. They're still ringing. Customers are still coming in. But I can assure you they're all getting an excellent service from our team, and we even notifying them as we find any of them in case there's a leak, because our advanced metering infrastructure recognize if there is a leak, possible leak, we call the customers and let them know what's happening even at this time. But good news, we are back on schedule. All the utility bills are now going out on schedule. We are still having some delay with due dates. They have been extended, but in December, not only will the bills go out on time, they also will have the normal due date. Everybody's looking for the normal due date. So I'm excited to share that with you all, that we are already there, almost there completely. But I just don't want to miss the opportunity. Thank you all for everything you have done. And the fact that sometimes when Jared and Pablo are in the building, we grab them and they'll help us with the customers. Sometimes we have to say, please go out and check out the issue. They're having some questions we aren't able to answer, and they have been amazing assisting us. But all of you, Becky and Bailey don't even know what the normal day is in utility billing yet. But I keep promising them that we're going to get there. So anyway, we really appreciate very much everything you all do. So thank you.
Let me add to that right quick before we wrap it up. You know, y'all don't know it, but there's been calls made to me and to council about whatever, somebody's bill. And I have so much confidence in what y'all are doing that it makes life so much easier. I know that you have the resources to show those people the water use, the graphs, and you're taking the time to explain that to them. Those systems didn't get hacked. Our meter reading system is a third-party vendor, and we've been able to rely on those. But integrating that into our software was the delay. And so y'all have been very patient and very effective in communicating with people what's going on. And I know not everybody's happy when they leave sometimes because they found out they owe a lot more money than they thought they did. But a lot of people that you're dealing with, folks, they didn't pay anything for 120 days, and now then the bill's coming to them, and they're seeing the real results of that. And so thank y'all for enduring and staying in the trenches and explaining and being patient and professional. It's such a blessing to have y'all, and I can't thank you enough. So thank you.
Thank you. Sure.
Gentlemen in the back, ladies and gentlemen.
Get in there with them, Ava. And we're missing a couple tonight, but they couldn't make it, so thank y'all.
Yeah, thank you
Thank
for
y'all.
giving up your personal time to join with us and let us recognize you, because we certainly are happy with the approach that you guys have taken downstairs to work to satisfy the customers. Like Chris says, not everybody left satisfied, but they'll be back, and they'll be back because you, not for that reason. They'll be back just to pay their bill. Thank you. We really do appreciate it all. Mr. Rodriguez.
Mayor, I just want to extend my gratitude to y'all. Y'all are what we consider our frontline workers. In the military, we have the front line, and those are the ones that get the hit the hardest. And y'all are the front line for the city. As y'all get hit the hardest by the customers, by the citizens, and y'all take the blunt of the punishment. So I just want to say thank you for your resolve, thank you for your patience, thank you for just being a representation for the city of Granbury. Thank you very much.
Ms. Burwell.
Mayor, I may need special dispensation for like 6 minutes to speak. No, I'll try to keep it brief. No, this may be the last chance that I have to do this, so I had a couple of things I wanted to say. Ava, thank you for bringing your staff up here, not just the utility staff, but I know that we have audits coming up for the budget, and I know that you'll bring forth a stellar budget once again, and an award-winning budget, so I wanted to tell you thank you to you and for your staff. I know you guys work sometimes 7 days a week to do that, so I appreciate that. I also had an opportunity to run out with the police department another time. I've done it several times since before and during the time I've been on council, and I just want to tell them thank you for constantly ensuring our safety, which I believe is even more important nowadays with what's going on in the world. I'm sure you all watch the news regularly like I do, and it's even more important for them to be vigilant, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Chief, for your staff and the officers. And this one, finally, I know we always recognize staff, but since I'm up here and I have a microphone, I'm going to recognize our council up here. To those who are led to serve as elected officials on this council, including my colleagues up here now and the ones that I've served with before, I want to thank you for your service to our community, for asking the hard questions, for seeking accurate information and facts, and having thick skin and a drive to do what's right for our citizens, even when you take the heat for those decisions. Your service is appreciated, and I thank you for all you do. I encourage you to always keep the needs of the community at the forefront of every decision that you make, whether you agree with your colleagues or not. And I want you to know that I've enjoyed serving with you all, past and present, and thank you for continuing to move Granbury in a positive forward path. That's it.
Thank you.
We got a couple other staff.
Mr. Corrigan?
Oh, Chris, you mean?
Chris?
Yeah, me.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
I wanted to also, I sent y'all a report from the tourism department today. Stellar year for tourism. I want to hats off to Tammy and her team. They've done a fantastic job as usual, We've really had a busy year, and as you can tell by the number of tourists that hit our square, it's a busy place, and so wanted to say that. And also our Parks Department has done a fantastic job, once again, putting up all of our Christmas lights, getting ready for the event on Friday, and it's going to be beautiful. And the Electric Department has been working with G&G Electric to redo all the lights on the buildings on the square, except for the ones that won't let us put their lights on their building. We have 2 buildings that we can't light up. So the rest of them will be lit up with new lights, and it'll be looking good, and no outages, hopefully, on Snaggletooth lights, and looking forward to doing that. Also, the decorations on the highway were put up with. Last year, we couldn't get bulbs because of whatever supply and demand. We ordered them in March and had them ready, so we've got new bulbs everywhere, and we're excited about that. You know, the biggest complaint that we have is no lights on the courthouse building and to the post on the square that we have. When I found out how our gentlemen have been doing that for years and telling me how unsafe it was, I realized how unsafe it was, and so we had to make a decision not to do that. In the future, we hope to find a vendor that has the proper equipment that can do that for us. We love those lights just as much as the public, but I love my people more. I'm not going to put them on a roof pulling up a heavy cable where they might fall down. And so it's a matter of life safety, and we had to make that decision. If you look at the pictures of the history of those lights, they've been there. There have been years that they weren't there. I've been informed by long-term employees of the city for various reasons, but those pecan trees have grown quite a bit, and they make it a big challenge to wrangle those cables with the wires attached with the light bulbs through the brush and up to the final destination. And then if you'll remember, last year we had about 300 complaints, literally 300 complaints, because we had some bulbs that were out on those long cables that couldn't be replaced because we don't have any equipment to get us up that high. So we'll be looking for a vendor. We've already got a couple of names for next year's season. And by the way, we think the county ought to partner with us on that. It is their building we're decorating. So it's our square, but it's their building and their property. Hats off to the Lake Granbury Area Beautification Council for spending $22,000 right at it to put those lights on the decorative trees around the perimeter of the courthouse. I don't know if you've seen them, but they're going to leave them up till February, and they're going to change the colors for each holiday season up until that time, and it's very generous for them to do that for us, and makes our square really stand out and look great. That is public-private partnership. We said yes, the county said yes, they paid the money and hired somebody to do it. So if you see somebody on the Lake Granbury Area Beautification Council, be sure and thank them. That can't be enough. Now, our guys obviously worked with them to coordinate the electric features of it to where they could plug them in and have power. And the city is paying for that electricity, not the county. And the city pays for all the electricity on all the buildings and any Christmas light that you see. So count your blessings, everybody, and enjoy the holiday spirit, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, sir. I thought I saw a light down there. I did not. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you. We're going to now go to public comments on agenda items for non-public hearing agenda items. We only have one that is a public hearing, and so this will be for the non-public hearing agenda items. And I have one from Mr. Dave Eagle, public comments on 7.3. Mr. Eagle?
City Council, Mr. Mayor, thank you for having me. I'm here to talk about the HCAD Board of Directors. You're going to be looking at that here in a little bit. And as you know, the HCAD's been under a lot of scrutiny in the last few months. And my understanding is that Mr. Ron Sutton has sent all of you an email talking about Mr. Rod Litke and proposing that he be considered to be put on this board. I urge you to consider Mr. Litke, and I'm going to kind of lay some stuff out and try to get through and make my time here. Right now, the GISD has the following members on the board for sure. Rick Fry, 834 votes. He's an old member, former member. Scott Bradley, 834 votes, new member. Mark McDonald, 834 votes, new blood. Eddie Rodriguez, they put 675 votes on. And they're going to ask you if you want to go forward with Mr. Rodriguez to put some votes on him. I'm going to, with no dispersions against Mr. Rodriguez, urge you to not put your votes on Mr. Rodriguez. And it's nothing personal or anything else against Eddie. In law school, they told us if it doesn't look right, you might ought not do it, even if it's legal. The optics are bad, and I think there's a potential conflict of interest by having a board member with a council member on the board. Also, there's a familial, I think I pronounced that correctly, affiliation with the GISD with Mr. Rodriguez. To me, that doesn't look right either. And again, nothing personal or anything else. I just think we need to consider some new blood on that board. To an outsider, it looks like that the district may have 4 members on there now. So first and foremost, Mr. Litke is from the private sector. He's a rancher, farmer, understands mineral interests, property values, and will bring a fresh perspective to the HCAD. As you know, there's much controversy going on with HCAD. It's not over with. It is not over with. For instance, taking it upon themselves to build a $6.5 million facility, that's not going to happen now. In fact, I understand the architect that was involved in this walked in with another $100,000+ bill just last meeting. So where does it end? We need checks and balances in that board. Right now, the school district has the most power, the most votes, the most everything. They've already got 3 members on there. I urge you to save Mr. Rodriguez from himself and put somebody else on there and relieve him of being put on there, because I don't think it's the right thing to do, and I think we need a fresh perspective in there, and I think it would look better to the citizens for the perspective of the city council and the other entities and voting entities to put 2 new people on there. So I urge you to think about or consider Rod Litke. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Now we'll move to the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are routine. Previously discussed items will be approved with one motion. However, should a member of the city council want to discuss any item, said item may be removed from the consent agenda and considered under the deliberation agenda. Is there anyone who wants to move anything off of it? I don't hear anyone. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda as is?
So moved.
Mr. Corrigan makes a motion.
Second.
Mr. Vale makes a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. That will pass 6-0. Thank you. We will now move to the deliberation agenda. Consider adopting resolution number 23-23 supporting the streamlined voluntary conversion program presented by the Housing Authority of the City of Granbury, Texas, and to authorize the city manager to sign the certificate of consistency. I see that Ms. Julia Richardson is in the house if there is something that, if we have a question for her. But Mr. Kaufman?
As you're aware of, this was discussed in depth under economic development for the Granbury Housing Authority at our last meeting. I guess it was 2 meetings ago. And so it's now on the open session to consider the resolution and also authorize the city manager to sign the certificate of consistency. Any questions? Julia's here to answer.
No questions? No questions. Good. I will say that I met with, did you have a question? Oh, I'm sorry. I did meet with Julia and Katie Offlet yesterday, who's the president of the things, and I had a couple of questions, and they were very quick, very clear in the answer, and I'm certainly well satisfied with this process that they're going through. And understand that this is just a beginning of the process. There's much more to do before they can reach the final goal here. So, discussions. Ms. Richardson, do you want to say anything? Leave it alone? Okay. Okay. So, all in favor of adopting resolution number 23-23, supporting the streamlined voluntary conversion program presented by the Housing Authority of the City of Granbury, Texas, and to authorize the city manager to sign the certificate of consistency.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
make a motion to adopt Resolution 2323 as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Mr. Vale, seconded by Ms. Burwell. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. I believe that passes 6-0. 5-0. Thank you. The consent agenda has also passed by 5-0. I'm remiss in not announcing that Mr. Wadley is not here tonight. Okay. 7.2 is actually, there will be 3 votes, and a public hearing will occur on the first item that we have. But I'm going to go through the entire agenda item initially. So we will conduct a public hearing, consider adopting ordinance number 23-86, creating a reinvestment zone within the Commerce Center. And 2, we'll consider adopting resolution number 23-27 to participate in tax abatement agreements with the reinvestment zone. And then 3, we'll establish a date to publish notice to conduct a public hearing for a tax abatement incentive agreement on January 2nd, 2024. Mr. Kaufman.
Thank you. So this is a economic development item, and Lance LaCour is our development director, and he is out ill. So I'm going to try to pinch hit for him. We've been talking about this for months already, so it's not a surprise to any of y'all. But the first item is to understand that we're creating an area out at the Commerce Center to designate as a reinvestment zone. So it's the tract of land that, I don't know if there's a slideshow that was provided to Carla on this at all. Nothing. There's a tract of land that Mr. Durant was going to build a 100,000 square foot building in 2008, and he's going to propose to, we've got him inkling towards proposing to build a 39,000 square foot building on that land, which would be expandable if needed. It's a speculation building. It's nothing that's leased or facilitated to anybody. It's the exact same size building and footprint that he has in Hudson Oaks that he built on a speculation basis. And so we've identified that tract of land within the Commerce Center to be designated as a reinvestment zone. It's a little over 6 acres, and be happy to any questions on that. And before we vote on this ordinance, we need to conduct a public hearing and allow the public to speak if they wish to on the creation of that reinvestment zone.
I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing and ask if there is anyone that would like to come forward and speak on this proposed ordinance. I see no one raising their hand or standing, so I'm going to close the public hearing. Council, questions, comments on this? We've been down the road? Okay. So I will call for a motion to adopt ordinance number 23-86, creating a reinvestment zone within the Commerce Center. Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Corrigan makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Rodriguez seconds. Discussion? Nope. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Ordinance number 2386 passes 6-0, 5-0.
Thank you, Mayor. The item 2 on this agenda item is considering adopting resolution 23-27 to participate in tax abatement agreements within the reinvestment zone. It's important for me to say that this is not adopting a tax abatement at this time. This is simply publishing a resolution that says that the council will consider tax abatements for this tract of land related to economic development in that newly created reinvestment zone. So this is all the administrative process laid out in the local government code that we're following tonight, and that's why it's broken up. I put it all into one agenda item instead of 3 agenda items for simplicity and for speed's sake to get you through the meeting. But the bottom line is we need the resolution to move forward to be able to next establish the date to publish a notice to consider a tax abatement incentive agreement in January. So we'll take care of item number 2 at this point. Any questions? I'll be happy to answer them.
No questions? Then I'd like a motion to adopt resolution number 2327 to participate in tax abatement agreements within the reinvestment zone.
Mayor,
Ms. Burwell.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2327 as presented.
I have a motion.
Second.
Mr. Vale makes a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. I hear no nays. It passes 5-0. Okay. And number 3.
Number 3 is to establish the date to publish notice to conduct a public hearing for a tax abatement incentive agreement that will be considered on January 2nd of 2024. In your council packet, I suggested that we adopt November 25th, but I've since been informed that the notice to get it in the newspaper because of the holiday has already lapsed, and so I propose that we publish it on December 2nd, and that gives us our 30-day window that we need to be able to discuss a development agreement on January 2nd.
Okay.
And by the way, the development agreement that we're talking about pursuing is right in line with our policy that we've adopted years back. So, in fact, we solidified that policy back in May of this year, but we're not doing anything special or elaborate on this development agreement. It's just a tax abatement per our policy for the type investment that it is. So, and we also hope that between now and the time we adopt a tax abatement, we can work with the county and they will partner with us as well to do a similar program for them to be able to do a tax abatement agreement.
Okay. I said we did that May 16th
May
of this
16th,
year, so it's been
yes.
updated recently.
So the proposed date that staff recommends is December 2nd, publish the notice. So we just need someone to make a motion to say, we'll make a motion to publish the notice on December 2nd.
Our agenda says January the 2nd. Is that wrong?
No, that's for, the notice that we're going to put out is for that January 2nd meeting. Thank you.
Mayor, I make the motion to approve the date of December 2nd, 2023, to publish notice to conduct a public hearing for consideration and approval of a tax abatement incentive agreement on January 2nd, 2024.
Very good.
Second.
I have a motion, and I have a second. No other discussion? Okay. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. That is approved 5-0. Okay.
Just as a note, we're required to have 30 days notice of that publication before that tax abatement has a public hearing on January 2nd. So we're meeting that requirement.
Thank you for pointing that out so that we get that correct date in there. We'll move to 7.3. Consider adopting resolution number 23-28 to vote for members to the Hood Central Appraisal District HCAD Board of Directors. You turn that off.
This is your business.
We have, and I will look to you, Mr. Sorrell, to make sure that I don't mess this up too badly. We have before us an opportunity to adopt resolution number 2328 to vote for members of the Hood Central Appraisal District, but we have to pick a member to vote for. And there are Mr. Greg Harrell, Mr. Monty Lewis, Mr. Rod Litke, Mr. Eddie Rodriguez, and Mr. Ron Sutton. The other, that's 5, the other 3 people have already, basically they have enough votes to be on the appraisal district. So is there discussion before I call for a motion on this from anyone? Mr. Rodriguez?
Mayor, thank you very much. City Council, I just want you to consider me as the, as doing another term on this HCAD board. My intentions are to continue to do what we've been doing from the previous timeframe. There's still a couple of items that are still left pending out there. Those items is making sure that the HCAD Board of Directors has a board policy and procedures already in place, and also looking at staggered terms as an alternative. Also want to set the course for the HCAD board to have a strategic planning and also a feasibility study on the building itself that they're in, and see if there's anything comparable, or if that's the only thing that they have is the building that they have now that could be renovated. Those are some pending things that I would like to get done. I don't like to be appointed to a board or be on a board and not try to get those things done. And those are the things that I want to get done. My intentions is to, if we go to staggered terms, is to be one of the first 2 members to be on a 1 year, to be voted off in 1 year. That would put all the other board members, 3 board members, on a 2-year term, and the 2 remaining members be on a 1-year term. So I'll be volunteering to be one of those members to get off in 1 year, which would open it up for some other candidate to be elected into that position. Right now, as it looks, you only have 2 incumbents that are coming in, which is Rick Fry and myself. I'm hoping that we can keep some knowledge on the board of HCAD. We've made so many strides up until this point, and I just urge you to, if anything, I won't even be greedy. I just want 160 votes out of the 319 in order to be on the board.
Someone else to speak? Mr. Vail.
Yeah, Jeremy, the gentleman at the podium earlier talked about the conflict. So based on the local tax code, there is no conflict having a sitting member on city council serve on the HCAD board. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's actually correct. 6.03A, I believe.
A1.
A1.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys have it here. I'm going from memory. All right. 6.03A1 actually, first of all, eligibility is determined by law under the tax code, and the eligibility would be that the person live in the district and have lived there at least 2 years. So then the next thing is, well, are you eligible if you sit on the board of a governing body? And the next sentence in that tax code says that you are not ineligible if otherwise eligible, just because you sit on a dais of one of the governing boards of one of the taxing units.
Okay.
No, perfectly legal that Mr. Rodriguez stands for appointment to that board.
Just 2 other comments. It was brought up earlier about conflict of interest. I think over the years when people ask me about HCAD and city council and appraisals and tax rates and so forth, my comments have always been the same, that the Hood County Appraisal District is a separate entity. They follow some state direction relative to appraisals. The ad valorem is one component of our overall budget for the city of Granbury. Our sales tax is actually a bigger revenue stream than property taxes. So I don't think I've heard anybody over the years that I've been here have anything negative to say about anybody sitting on city council being part of HCAD. So that, to me, that's not an issue. I think the other thing that Eddie just brought up, which I think is an important point, is the balance of any organization. Sometimes what happens when you turn the whole organization over, there isn't anybody there with any kind of longevity and history and stewardship of that organization. And I think the fact that there's 2 incumbents and 2 new people is a good balance. So, there was a comment earlier about having new blood. Well, I think there is new blood coming into there. And I appreciate Mr. Rodriguez saying that, and I think I've been this way myself, is, I never want to start something I can't finish. And if there are things that, Eddie is passionate about, which I hear him say, and he articulated those tonight, I think it's an opportunity, at least from my perspective, to have him continue to serve there, finish those things out, and I appreciated his comment tonight as well, talking about terms and stagger, and I think that does give the opportunity to move people in and out of there, but still maintain some consistency in terms of, what they provide and the service they provide to the community. So I just wanted to make that comment.
Okay. Corrigan? Ms. Burwell? No. Well, mine is a philosophical difference. And 2 years ago, we happily and gladly nominated Eddie, and we had other people that were nominated, and the conversation was around is there conflict, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't know, Mr. Eagle's still here, but I disagree with some of the things that he said, and those are, school representatives, city representative, county representatives. The appraisal board representatives represent the citizens of Granbury, or not the citizens of Granbury, the citizens of all of the Hood County, all of the appraisal district. And I don't think that there should be any question in any of the citizens' minds that, oh, this is, there's a conflict there. Just avoid it. And, by avoiding it, Mr. Rodriguez would not be on there, nor would, in my opinion, any commissioner or any school board representative or anyone from one of the taxing entities. Why have, why create that type of controversy? So saying very quickly that Mr. Rodriguez is a very respected, very capable, and an honorable man, at the same time, say, we have 5 other candidates. Are none of them a candidate that we would consider? So my philosophical comment there. Anybody? No? Okay. So, do I have a motion to consider adopting resolution number 2328 to vote for members of the Hood Central Appraisal District Board of Directors? And that motion would include, I guess, a name and the number of votes? Okay.
You can take
Yes.
nominations.
I'll take nominations. Okay. Ms. Burwell?
I would like to nominate Eddie Rodriguez.
How many votes?
What is it, 319? 319.
We have 319, correct? Correct, okay. There are others? Others? Well, then I'll nominate Mr. Rod Lidke for 319. Any other nominations? Okay. No other nominations? Any conversations? No conversations? Okay. So, all in favor of Mr. Eddie Rodriguez?
Do you want us
And
to
you'll
raise
vote by
hands? or-
hand? Yes, you'll vote by hand. Ms. Burwell, Mr. Vale, Mr. Rodriguez, and Mr. Corrigan. Okay, vote yes by hand. Anybody for Mr. Lidke? Yes. So, Mr. Rodriguez, you are our nominee to the Hood County Appraisal Board. As Mr. Eagle says, we tried to save you from yourself.
Well, if I believe it's not right, or if it doesn't look good to follow Christ, then I shouldn't call myself a Christian. But I am. I'm not worried how I look or how I dress. I'm still going to follow Christ.
I got a comment, Mayor.
Mr. Kaufman.
I would feel confident that the county has all the votes they need to put Mr. Lidke on that board with the number of votes that they possess. Personally, I feel like I was, as a citizen of Granbury, it's inappropriate for a governing body from another jurisdiction to walk in here and dictate to you who you should vote for. I'm offended by that. Just on the record, I'm offended by that.
That'd be like me going to the county, telling them what to do.
Other conversation?
You just need to make a motion.
Okay. I make a motion that we adopt resolution number 23-28 to vote for members of the Hood Central Appraisal District Board of Directors, and the vote will be for Mr. Eddie Rodriguez at 319 votes from the city of Granbury.
And I'll second.
I made the motion. Mr. Vale made the second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. It passes 6-0. 5-0. Could you get Wadley here so I can get right on this next one? Okay. Number 7.4. Receive and consider action on the Capital Improvement Advisory Committee recommendation to adopt the 2023 Capital Improvement Plan for the City of Granbury, and we may take this up in executive session under the exemption of economic development, and then return to the open session, take an action necessary. Mr. Kaufman, is that still our plan?
Yes, we have plans to present this in executive session, and we've got it listed under economic development, which is very important, but also there's some homeland security issues with showing the world our infrastructure and the points of stress and places where we could be attacked and vulnerable to terrorism. So, but economic development is what we hung our hat on for this agenda item. I just want people to understand how sensitive this information is, as well as economic development information.
Okay. So I now declare that the Granbury City Council is convened into open session and that 5 members are present. Mr. Wadley is not. The City Council will go into closed session pursuant to provisions of Texas Government Code in accordance with the authority contained in the following sections. 551071 is consultation with attorney pending or contemplated litigation. 551072 is deliberation regarding real property. And 551087 is deliberation regarding economic development negotiations. So we will now be in executive session. I now declare that the Granbury City Council reconvenes into open session. There was no action taken in closed session, and 5 of the council members are present. Mr. Wadley is absent. Do we have any continuing business? Ms. Burwell?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the 2023 Capital Improvement Plan for the City of Granbury.
Motion?
Second.
Mr. Vale seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. It passes 5-0. Any other business? Corrigan, Rodriguez, Vale, Burwell? There being no further business, I announce the meeting adjourned.